Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's webinar by SolutionXchg. Today's topic will be the electronic personnel file management for SAP HR. We're happy you could attend and hope you will find the topic of interest. My name is Kristen Gerling, and I will be your host throughout the session. Our presentation today will take about 15 minutes, with 5 minutes reserved for questions at the end. I would like to share some procedural and technical notes beforehand, and that is all participants are on mute during the full duration of the webinar. And please post any questions or concerns through the questions panel in your administration panel on the right side of your screen. If you cannot hear us or cannot see the presentation, please also alert us through this question panel. We will send out a transcript to those who are interested after the webinar, and you can contact us about this by sending us an email at info@solutionexchg.com. That is info@solutionxchg.com. But let's get started right away. Our speaker today will be my business partner, Jochen Hager. Jochen, would you introduce yourself, please?
Thank you, Kristen. Good morning, everybody. Today's webinar is about knowledge, is part of our knowledge injection series, and specifically about electronic personnel file management for SAP HR. Kristen and I and many of our colleagues um, and business partners have done electronic personnel file management integration projects for many years. We have worked with various clients in Europe and in the last 15 years in the United States, setting up SAP-centric document management solutions. And the XFT personnel file solution is at the top of the available SAP-centric document management solutions you can get in the market. And SolutionXchg is proud to present this solution today in this webinar to you. Let me give you a little bit of a background on the business case of the situation. When we work with HR professionals or HR departments, we find that many of the HR departments are afraid of or actually stuck in tactical administration. We often hear that they are bogged down by expensive paper-based processes. Handling paper is time-consuming. The processes are slow. They prohibit speedy resolution of issues. Their management forces them to be more proactive, but they are mired down by everyday administrative work. And the classical setup of an HR department, a paper-based setup, is inhibiting modern HR shared service centers. They have no capability to share information. Information is stuck in local plans, is stuck in drawers, is stuck in filing cabinets, and cannot be easily made available to employees or administrative personnel throughout the organization. With that comes low acceptance of these processes by all the employees, and as a result, a low enforcement of policy. And as you know, in these days, policies are an important part of our daily administration. Policies and regulations need to be adhered to, or significant ramifications can arise for any organization. So let's take a look at how we can salvage that. And what we would like to show today is how an electronic personnel file solution, and we're highlighting the XFT personnel file solution here, can help with improving the situation. An electronic personnel file presents all your documents that are currently in paper file format electronically to you within your SAP system, highly integrated into the personnel master and administration transactions. PA20, PA30, you can directly jump from certain info types into the personnel file, and the personnel file is presented to you as you can see it on the screen in a folder-like structure. The folder structure is highly configurable. You can add and configure all the individual folders, subfolders, and document types. And of course, the whole folder setup is highly secured. All access is role-based, is based on SAP authorizations. So access would be different for an HR administrator, for a line manager, for an employee, even for within a certain group, we can be highly specific on who can see what, who is privy to payroll information, who is privy to medical information. All that is set up when you set up the system. And the great thing about an SAP integrated solution is that we don't need any new user and role definitions. We can basically um, piggyback on the existing configuration that is already available in your SAP system. It's a highly productized solution, very intuitive handling with full SAP HCM integration. Implementation is very fast. We have done it as fast as in a time frame of 2 weeks. That, of course, is a very unique situation. We usually like to give us a little bit more time just to make sure that we get all the processes right and capture your internal um, workflows, making sure they're nicely reflected in the use of the XFT personnel file. There is self-service components with it. On the right-hand side of the screen, you see our self-service functionality that can be integrated into company portals. It's essentially the same view as you see on the left-hand side, slightly less functionality because it's more geared towards pure viewing, but it can be easily integrated in SAP employee self-service or manager self-service applications. Comes with a sub GUI and a web front end. There's a great file lending or loaning functionality where you can send out files in email and they are presented to you through a link, and the link actually expires. So it mimics the usual lending functionality you would have if you give somebody access to a paper file for a certain period of time and you ask for the paper file back. In this case, the link expires. We talked about role-based access, full Microsoft Office integration as well as the capabilities to do secured workflows for approvals and for notifications or any other work processes. There's a checklist functionality that allows you to put together work procedures for onboarding, for example, or retiring, so that you break away from random process handling, random case management, and you really get to predictable processes within your organization. All these can be set up easily by key users, uh, your typical HRIS users or managers can help with the setup. There is no need to have any coding to be done for many of the specialized workflow features. So that means you break your reliance on IT and you have full control over the solution in your HR department. So let me from here show you what that means for the actual users. The HR professional will spend less time on administration and can focus more on strategic tasks. Talent management is very important in modern organizations. Shuffling paper is not. We need to do that for compliance reasons, but it shouldn't dominate daily tasks for HR professionals. And the personnel file solution like the one we're describing here can really help with that. For the manager, it means they can easily collaborate with HR and they know where everything is and everything is done in a reliable and compliant way. For the employee, it's easy for them to look at their own file. That's a requirement in many states now. Employees have to get access to their files, and it's an easy way for a distributed organization to grant that access. At the same time, we're facilitating shared service center concepts. So what does it do? It takes a distributed, disparate group collection of files and folders, and it turns them into a structured folder structure. It adds process structure. It adds authentication, authorization concepts by reusing your existing SAP concept, and it provides full security and compliance. It gives you easy access to faxes, electronic documents, emails, voice messages, any document type you would like to put into a file. There's retention management around it that is automatically built into the solution, and it allows you to introduce highly standardized processes throughout your organization, while at the same time allow for ad hoc process management to flexibly support the business experts that are dealing with personnel matters. Very low training and ramp up cost for HR personnel and managers. It keeps you in your well accustomed SAP interface, and high compliance with laws and internal guidelines as a result of adopting firm procedures. Just going back to that HR professional view one more time, well, by presenting personnel data directly, by accessing personnel data directly from SAP ERP HCM in that file folder structure, we will have less administrative work, better ability to work on and address an employee's needs and potentials, and work the case more than actually work the paper. I think that's a very important point. It allows HR professionals to do their daily work faster and more efficiently, achieve a higher rate of compliance with internal rules, and reduce errors through predefined process patterns. Solution is fully certified by SAP. It goes through an annual certification process, and support is via the SAP Service Marketplace. Quite a unique support feature where you can log your support requests the exact same way you do log your SAP support requests. And the engineers and the support team can have access to your development system, to your quality control, or even your production system through the same secure channels SAP uses. In fact, it is going through those channels because XFT, the company that backs this product, has a very unique relationship with SAP in terms of supporting the product. XFT offers a number of other products. So the XFT HR personnel file is one of a number of pillars. There's an invoice management solution, there's a contract management solution, project file solution, and many other consulting solutions available. The solution is built on a firm framework for workflows and for handling transaction-oriented processes. So it's one of a suite of tools, very powerful, very flexible, has been out in the market for over 10 years and has very good traction with large, medium-sized, and even small companies in the United States and Europe. So a few key points to take home. The XFT personnel file bridges the gap between electronic and document-based information. The integration into SAP is the basis for process continuity and great transparency, and standard and ad hoc workflows make HR processes much more compliant than they might be today. There is a capability of also integrating document composition into any processes. We can automatically create documents by using Word templates. Those Word templates can pull information and data from SAP, directly from SAP, a great feature to do serial letters, directly based on information that's in your SAP personnel master data, or just to send out a letter that refers to a specific case or a specific person. So with all that, XFT personnel file achieves the highest level of integration and transparency, while at the same time being flexible and customizable to the highest extent. What can SolutionXchg do for you? SolutionXchg is an accredited reseller and implementer for the HR personnel file by XFT. We do business process analysis, SAP module customizing, project management. We have over 15 years of enterprise content management experience with SAP and many more. We represent products from XFT, from KGS, from Eternity, and PBS and TJC. We have the full suite of products from business solutions to archiving solutions to secure storage solutions. We have worked with many companies who run Ixos OpenText solutions or any other archiving solutions that are out there in the market. And the products by XFT support such solutions. If you decide, though, you want to change your underlying archiving system, we can look at that as well. And that concludes our quick knowledge injection seminar. Please, if you would like to get more information, contact my business partner, Kristen Gerling, or myself. The information is right here on the screen, or send an email to info@solutionexchg.com. That's info@solutionxchg.com. Thank you very much for your attention today. I hope you got some good information out of this short webinar, and I hand it back to Kristen. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We would like to now open the floor for questions. Please post your questions in the right-hand questions panel at your GoToWebinar panel. We'll give you a couple minutes. Jochen, I have one question, and that is, how is the solution implemented? Is it SAP transports, or is there other further development necessary?
Very good questions. The solution comes as an SAP installation package, which is a higher level transport. An installation package is pre-configured in the XFT labs, and the solution is downloaded from a secured website. And the package is installed in just a matter of hours. Actually, it's more the preparation work to install it. The actual transport probably goes in less than 20 minutes. But the solution is usually then first installed either in a sandbox or in a quality control system. The implementation will take place in stages. We usually work in the quality control system and do the initial or in the testing environment and do initial setup of the solution, of course, then propagate all the customizing through your usual SAP transports throughout the system and transport it up into production once it's fully vetted and the processes have been fully configured. So a very, very straightforward process, easy to do, does not require any additional hardware. Of course, you need to get the documents into the system. That requires some scanning or multifunction devices. And for the back file, for your existing paper records, we often collaborate with local scanning service providers that help with getting all the existing records into the system and pre-populate the XFT personnel file.
Thank you. We have one more question, and that is regarding the SAP integration. And one person in our audience wanted to know again, how is it integrated? Can I use it from a portal? Can I jump into it from the SAP transactions? Maybe you can show the slide again where you were in SAP, where you had an SAP screen and
Sure.
you were in
The
there.
solution is highly integrated into SAP. There's two ways to get to it. Usually you navigate, you go into PA20 and pull up a person's personnel record, your standard PA20 transaction. And then under generic services for objects, you will find a new entry, um, electronic personnel file or XFT personnel file. You click that and you see a new transaction screen popping up, and that's just the screen we see here. That will put you directly into the personnel file for that person, for that personnel number you've just been reviewing in SAP. So from that view where you see all the info type tabs and where you see the header data, the master data for a person, for a certain perna, um, that's where you fork off and move into the personnel file, and you can easily transfer back from there, from that view, back into the classic SAP view. We can also integrate um, each individual file types into the info type screens. Most customers, once they see the personnel file, decide not to do that anymore, but that option exists as well. So you would have two access points, the file folder structure view, as well as the info type into info type view to pull up documents. And then the second way to look at documents is through a URL, and you can faintly see the URL up here in that screen. It goes to a NetWeaver server, and here is actually the perner is in here. Personal number is coded into that URL, and with that information, um, you can pull up a personnel file. Of course, to do that, you need to log on to SAP. You need to provide your SAP login, password, and then your credentials are checked, and you will only see those files that you are privileged to see based on your role within the organization. So very easy access from two different ways.
Okay, we have another question from a participant,
Mhm.
and that is regarding where do the archived documents actually get stored? Are they stored on a secure cloud or a company server?
Mhm.
Um,
There,
Maybe you can explore it.
sure. There's different options. Some companies already run SAP compliant, archive link compliant content servers, and they most common models out there is OpenText. Ixos OpenText content server. We work with KGS. That's another company that has a well-respected content server solution out there. But there's a large number of solutions as well as the SAP content server as a product that SAP provides, and some customers use that. The documents can be stored on any SAP Archive Link compliant archive. Whether you have one, then we can carve out a section of that existing archive and make it available for HR documents. If you don't have one, there's two options. You can set up one, um, and we can help you make that choice and find the product that's right for you. And if you would like to have those documents stored not on site but in the cloud, we do offer cloud solutions as well. Those cloud solutions could be based on Amazon cloud services, could be based on Rackspace cloud services, could be based on Google cloud services. We have experience with Amazon cloud services, and we have showcased some cloud archiving solutions at various SAP trade shows based on the KGS product. So cloud services or cloud storage is certainly an option for personnel file storage. If you're thinking about success factors integration in the future, that might be a good combination as well to go with a cloud document storage for your HR records. I hope that answers the question, and I hand it back to you, Kristen.
Okay, and then there is another question, how's the product licensed?
The product is licensed by SAP by the volume of SAP personnel numbers. So um, uh, if you have 8,000 employees in your organization, then you would get a license for 8,000 personnel records. And there is a tiered licensing scheme. It starts with very low number, 2,500 and less employees, and it goes up to over 100,000 employees. We have done implementations for large organizations with over 80,000 employees handling personnel files in multiple regions. The software is actually capable of being configured for multiple regions throughout the world. It can be it can show and it can show and display a different file folder structure for North America, for Europe, for Asia Pacific, for China, and it is multi-language capable. It supports a selected set of languages out of the box, and through SAP's language and localization features, we can basically make the file folder structure and the transactions available in any language you choose. We would collaborate with you to do the translation for these different languages.
Okay, that concludes our questions and answers part of today's presentation. Again, we are sending to all of you that have requested transcripts of the slides. We will be sending those out shortly after. Thank you again for participating, and have a great day. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Thank you for attending.